This episode of the Author Inside You podcast is brought to you by Breakthrough Promotions. Well, Matt, we've talked to many authors, and they told us that writing the book is the easiest part. The hard part is selling their books.
That's true, Leah. We have talked to many authors who said after all the labor they put into the book, it turns out the most difficult part was getting people to buy it.
That's why if you're having some problems figuring out how to sell your book, contact our friends at Breakthrough Promotions. They are willing and ready with experience to help you meet your sale goals.
So if you'd like to get more promotion for your book, head on over to breakthroughpromotions.net.
You're listening to the Author Inside You podcast, a weekly podcast designed to motivate you to finish writing a book, choose a publisher, and have your work build an audience. Keep listening if you're looking to get propelled into the next chapter of your life. And now, it's the Author Inside You podcast with your host, Leah and Matt Rafferty.
Hello, and welcome to the Author Inside You podcast. I'm Matt Rafferty.
And I'm Leah Rafferty.
Joining us today is Kishmi Davis, author of Wi-Fi Kick the Bucket. Kishmi is a middle school teacher, mother of 3 children and 1 guinea pig, and she's a member of the North Star Texas Writing Project, Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators, and Children's Book Insider. Welcome, Kishmi. Thanks for joining us today.
I appreciate the opportunity to share. Thank you, Matt and Leah.
Well, thank you for being here. So your book is written about a real-life occurrence. Is that correct?
That's right.
What can you tell us about that?
The idea for the book came about summer of 2016. School had just let out in June, and my 3 children, of course, had big plans to just veg out on the internet with their devices.
Sure.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. It's summertime, all of that stuff, but unfortunately, the Wi-Fi router stopped working. And the long story short, the Wi-Fi was out the entire summer.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and understand I have a high schooler, a middle schooler, and a 5th grader. So
wow, yeah.
I thought you were going to say it was out for a day or two, and that inspired the book.
The entire summer, on purpose though, because they kept bothering me about it. So I said, the more you bother me about it, the slower I'm going to take to get it fixed. And so we just had to figure out, and it was kind of hard for me too, honestly, but we had to figure out a different way to entertain, except for, because when you get bored, you get on your device. I like devices, don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. But we did kind of need a little balance at that point in our lives. So I said, why not? I'll just wait and kind of see how they react. And it was kind of funny. They were very funny that summer.
And so is the story about your family, or did you make up a family?
I try to say it's not, but it is exactly our family to the T, everything they did.
So you had this incident, which sounds like it sounds funny to us, but probably could be stressful, very stressful also.
Yes.
But so what made you decide to make it into a book?
I was attending a teacher workshop that summer, and it was an author workshop. It was for English teachers. And it was kind of like the instructor, Michelle Stimson, she said, you're an English teacher, right?
Uh-huh.
And I said, oh, that's a good idea. She gave us it was a summer-long workshop, and she pretty much gave us, assignments and homework, and we didn't have to publish, but I was having so much fun, I decided to go ahead and self-publish.
Oh, great. So what did you do for the illustrations? I mean, that's a big challenge for children's books.
Yeah, I found this awesome guy named Joshua Richtrick, and he's out of Louisiana. And I just kind of contacted him. I had seen some of his work and contacted him, and he was like, yeah, and he did an awesome job.
Well, so you'd seen other children's books that he had drawn and thought,
yes.
Well, why not just reach out to him?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that is really neat.
I love his illustrations. He's actually an author too. So, and we work very well together. We're working on something else now. So yeah, I love Joshua. He's awesome.
Great.
And what did your kids think about the book?
Yeah, they thought it wasn't very funny. Yeah, I mean, my daughter, my youngest, my 5th grader is very excited about it.
So you are an English teacher, but did you still decide to have someone edit it?
Well, not professionally. I have all of my friends are writers, right?
Okay.
So I just passed it around.
That's nice to have friends like that.
To about 10 different friends, and they all had something different to say about it. And I took, what I felt like was the most important part, and then and tweaked it based on that.
Oh, very cool. Okay. And so then, getting back to the illustrations, did you have ideas and send Joshua pictures?
Well, I did kind of. What I did, I sent him the manuscript, and on every page, I kind of told him, what I saw happening. But of course, he's an illustrator. He's gonna, right. He's gonna put his own twist to it. And he did an awesome job. But I kind of told him what I thought, and he would say something like, "This is good, but what about this?" And I'm like, "Perfect." Every time he said, "What about this?" Perfect. It was right on point.
Right. Those artists know how to do it, don't they?
Yes, they do. I wish I could draw. Matt and Leah, I wish I could draw. I mean, I draw stick figures, so that wouldn't work, but I wish I could draw.
So you decided to self-publish. What company did you use?
Ingram Sparks.
And how did you find the process to work?
All right, so it was really complicated. The person who was doing the workshop that summer helped out a lot, because the writing was the fun part. It was the stuff behind the scenes that's what made my head hurt just a little bit.
That's what we keep hearing from authors. Right. Yeah.
And I'm being really nice about it. But the formatting, the cover and the pages, and making sure everything's the right size or kick it back out. Man, I mean, I see why people use publishers, because they don't have to worry about that. Mm-hmm. They just, here it is, do it, and then let me know.
So formatting was the biggest headache.
Oh my goodness, it was. But lucky for me, Michelle Stinson, I would call her, email her, and I'm like, meet me somewhere. I'll buy you something to eat or something. Just meet me somewhere. Please help me. And so she was very nice about it, really patient. And she just helped out a lot. But that part, that part, that behind the scenes part, getting that stuff formatted and out, wow.
So how long did it take, you think, from the time that you had the idea of writing Wi-Fi Kick the Bucket until you had the illustrations done, the formatting headache resolved, and you had like a copy of the book in your hands?
I'll say about a year.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's pretty quick.
Yeah, that doesn't sound that bad because there's a lot of steps in there.
Right, it's quicker than going through a publisher, that's for sure. But it's about a year, and it's because I kept editing. I couldn't stop revising and editing. I'm crazy. I was like, okay, I have to stop. I could still be revising and editing right now. It's But so I was kind of prolonging the process because it was, it's just always could be better.
Right.
And until Michelle told me, she said, okay, stop, just do it. So,
so then you have the book finished. How did you go about promoting the book?
Yeah, that's always a challenge. So I have, so far I have been to Half Price Books, and I've gone to some libraries and doing some podcast interviews, and trying to get into a different library that's about 30 minutes away. But so it's kind of like me reaching out. And then I have a lady named PJ. PJ Nunn is so awesome. She's been hooking me up with stuff like this. So she's been awesome.
Sure, yes.
She's connected me with libraries and Half Price Books and different podcasts, actually radio, like person radio station. And she's just making stuff easy, just kind of getting my name out there a little bit. And she's helping me to share so that people will know about the book.
So she has contacts that maybe you wouldn't have as an individual.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. No, that's great. That's great.
Yes, it is.
So when you go to Half Price Books, it's like you're selling your book there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
That's
nice.
cool.
I haven't heard that before at our half price book.
Yeah, they let me set out a table and put my books out and talk to. I was in the children's section, so I got to talk to the little kids and the parents. And
that's nice.
Yeah, told them about the book and read a little bit to them and all of that good stuff. And I did well when I was there.
Great.
So we've talked to other authors who have written children's books, and some of them go and speak at schools. Like they'll do an assembly and read the book at the school or put on some sort of program. Have you done anything like that, or is anything like that in your plans?
Yeah, actually it is. Probably closer to the end of school year, I'll be going to Irving, and a classmate of mine is a counselor there, so she's invited me to come to her school.
Oh, that's great.
So I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you've read it to your class.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What did your school kids think? Yeah, students.
My students are very supportive. They're excited. Yeah, and keep in mind they're 7th graders, and this book is probably geared towards 3rd to 5th grade. Mm-hmm. And so, but they insist on reading it. I think they just like the idea that they're connecting me with the book.
Yeah, that's wonderful. What a good role model.
Right. So they see your name on the cover, and and hopefully think one day I can do that too. Right.
Yeah, they do. I've inspired a few young authors.
Great.
That's wonderful.
Speaking of inspiring authors, what's the best advice that you can give other people who are thinking about writing a children's book?
Well, I know my biggest concern about writing was kind of like the fear of being judged a little bit. Mm-hmm. Kind of like, that doesn't sound good. Did you mean to say that? Or why did you say it like that? Just kind of put yourself out there for people to criticize you. Don't let that get in the way of you, really writing and showing who you are.
Right. So your fear is that somebody that you know is going to say, hey, I think you did something wrong in the book.
Yeah.
When in reality, most people that you know are just going to be proud of you. And then people who don't know you aren't going to say anything to you. Right. So it's really
That's
not
true.
that the fear is really that small, but it seems like it's large.
Maybe
that's so true.
It could also be that you're just not so much worried about if something's wrong, but to say, like, I just know for myself, oh, well, who are you to write a book? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I worry about. So.
Yeah, me too. It is all of that. It's just, it's weird. But yeah, I'll just kind of move beyond that. And I've had so much support from family and friends and classmates and, colleagues. It's just been really fun.
Well, that's nice that you're getting all this support. That's wonderful. And it must be fun to go to your bookstore and set up your books on the table. Do your kids get to go along with that? Do they go? Oh, that must be fun for them to see you in that position too.
Leah, I make them go. They prefer to stay at home.
Yeah, now that the Wi-Fi's working.
Yeah.
So for people who are listening and are interested in buying your book, where's the best place to purchase your book?
It's on Amazon.com or my website, KishmiDavis.com. Kind of like sent you to different places, but it's in paperback and it's in hardcover, and it's on also the ebook. So you can get, if you go to my website, KishmiDavis.com, it'll take you to all those different places. And actually, Amazon.com will take you there also to all 3 sources.
Oh, okay. Great.
And what about social media? What has worked the best for you?
It's okay, but I find that when I'm out in person and setting up the tables with the books right there, I get more sales and recognition that way than I do on Facebook.
Well, it sounds like you have a lot of personality. So probably when someone sees you, they feel your enthusiasm, and that probably helps also, I would think. Where on Facebook or any social media, you're not really sure about the person, right? I mean,
right. So, that's true.
Yeah. And then also being a teacher, I would think, helps also because you have good communication skills and you can relate to people. So,
right.
Well, that's congratulations, because that says a lot about you also, that when people meet you in person, they want to purchase a book. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Before we started the interview, we went to your webpage and we saw that video that you have. That was very nice, the welcome video on your webpage.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So did you make that yourself?
I did. I Googled how to do a video, and I did it, and I had probably a million takes before I could get that, and I still look at it. I still look at it and shake my head sometimes.
Right.
But it was fun.
But it's a nice welcoming thing, You feel nice when you see it,
Thank you. I was hoping so.
Yeah.
I just want to say that I don't have anything against technology. I do want to promote balance, and so I wrote the book as a gentle way to encourage balance. Maybe people could look at the characters in a book and see how they figured out what to do after their Wi-Fi stopped working. And it was fun stuff. I mean, they played cards, they jumped on trampolines, they built forts, they just had popcorn fights, whatever.
Aww.
So right. So because it happens, and sometimes I take my children's device away on purpose because we need that break.
Sure.
From it, and it's addictive. I mean, I love my device, but it's very addictive, and so just a kind of cool way to promote balance and let everybody know that there are other things besides devices and internet.
Yeah, that's very good, and a great idea for a book too.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful.
Because what parent isn't going to say, yeah, you're right, the kids need to spend less time on electronic devices. Exactly.
And through your book could be a vehicle to get to their kids by, hey, look at what this family did.
Yeah.
So this is a great vehicle, a great communication tool.
Let's go build a fort. Yeah.
So good job again.
Thank you, Leah.
Yeah.
So congratulations, Kishmi. That was fantastic. So it was great having you on the Author Inside You podcast today. Thanks for being a guest.
And we wish you well, and keep us posted on how things go with your book. Anything new?
All right, will do. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you for listening to the Author Inside You podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Breakthrough Promotions.
If you've recently written a book and you're looking to get more book signings or to appear on some podcasts or radio shows, head on over to breakthroughpromotions.net and talk to our friend PJ Nunn. She's a very good publicist who can help you get your book out and sell more copies.
Until next time.
Right on.
Thank you for listening to the Author Inside You podcast with your host, Leah and Matt Rafferty.